Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today we are working from Deep Run Roots, Vivian Howard's cookbook. And if you watched our last video, we made sweet potatoes roasted in their jackets. And this was the recipe that we had planned to use those in. We didn't eat them plain, straight, so we can't tell you how we liked them like that, but they're just roasted sweet potatoes. I'm sure they'd be great. But we're gonna make citrus sweet potato butter today. This is basically just kind of like a mashed sweet potato recipe with a lot of citrus in it. Very smooth because we're using the we're using the food processor, so it's going to be very smooth, kind of like a pumpkin butter or something like that. Very smooth, and we're gonna get started. But she does say that this is really good on a buffet, so it's really good for something you can just sort of reheat before you use it, before you serve it. And we're probably gonna heat ours in the microwave. But she says to heat it in a pan with a little bit of water. However you do it, I'm sure it's gonna be great. So let's get started. We have all of our ingredients laid out here, and all we have to do is put them all in the food processor and whir it up. So first, let's see, we have some brown sugar. And we have the zest of half of a lime, half of a lemon, and half of an orange. So it's all three kinds of citrus in zest form. But, let me get as much out of that as I can. But we only have juice from an orange. Actually, it was about 2 oranges here, but no lemon or lime juice, just the orange. We have quite a bit of butter. Everything's better with butter. You know, I recently went back and added some playlists that have different sort of diets. So if you're vegetarian, if you're low carb, that kind of thing. And very few of the recipes as written are vegan because chefs love butter. It's relatively easy to modify those vegetarian recipes, mostly if it's just butter, you know, use a substitute, but just letting you know. If you want to look for that, should be on my main channel page. You should be able to see all of those playlists. The only other ingredient here, oh wait, 2 ingredients. We have 2 dashes of hot sauce. I like Frank's. It's not too hot, but it has good flavor. And then some salt. And now it's going to be very loud, so we'll probably not hear me talk, so I'll just be quiet. While I scrape this down, I was going to let you know, I used all of the sweet potatoes that I made for the previous recipe in here. And if you let them cool a little bit until they're not too hot to handle, they're very easy to peel. So you just peel them. They peeled pretty much whole, and I was able to just put them in here, and that's looking pretty good. I don't think it got very stuck, but I'm going to whir it up a little bit longer, and then we'll be done. Looks good to me. That is all there is to it. Citrus sweet potato butter. We'll let you know how it turned out. Hi everybody. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, we made citrus sweet potato butter from Deep Run Roots. And I have to say, I knew from the outset my kids were not going to eat this. They don't like any kind of mashed potato, none. They did taste it. That's a rule. You have to taste something to know if you'll like it, especially if it's new. But my husband and I absolutely loved this. All of the citrus made a huge difference to the sweet potatoes. It's so different than any other mashed sweet potatoes I've ever had before. We really, really loved it. So it wasn't a problem that there were lots of leftovers. We took care of those. And honestly, they were really easy. It does require a food processor, and that was very helpful, getting a nice, really, really smooth consistency to it, because sweet potatoes often have fibers in them. They're sort of, a more fibrous vegetable, which is good for you, but they can get kind of stringy. Didn't have any of that problem with these. Starting with roasted sweet potatoes really helps. I really like to do that. For example, with our usual Thanksgiving or Christmas sweet potato casserole, I will always roast them instead of boiling them, because it ends up less watery. You don't add water to your dish. You sort of concentrate the flavors instead. So starting with that, it's really easy. I don't think it's any harder than boiling. In fact, you don't have to peel them and cut them up. And taking the peel off when they're roasted, after they're roasted, is super easy. So as long as you have a food processor or some other way to deal with that. I've not tried it in a blender, but probably would work. I would highly recommend you try this. It's such a different flavor than anything I've ever had. And in fact, we thought we might actually, add a couple eggs and put the usual pecan crunchy topping, brown sugar topping that we usually put on our sweet potato casserole on top of these instead of the other, and see how that goes. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching me cook. And if you did, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to watch me cook something else.